So this is the Apple Watch Ultra, Apple's flagship $799 watch. Apple markets it as the best watch they provide for hiking, mountain climbing, deep diving in the ocean. It's the best watch for all those things. So why do people like myself buy the watch? Well, to start off with, I have been waiting for Apple to release an Ultra or Pro watch for a long time now. You see, one of my issues with the previous Apple Watches was the battery life. Just knowing every day that I have to take off the watch that night and put it on charge was kind of disappointing. So when Apple debuted this bad boy and it was advertising 36 hours of battery life, oh, you bet you I was all over that. So the time finally came and it came in, and now I've been using the watch for about 4 months now, and I couldn't be happier. Not only does it get more than the advertised 36 hours of battery life, but it also makes everything else you do on a normal Apple Watch easier because of the slightly bigger screen and the brighter screen. This screen gets up to 2000 nits brightness. That's the same amount of brightness as the new iPhone 14 Pro Max. So if you work in the outdoors or if you're ever outside and you need to look at your watch, you're definitely not going to have a problem seeing the screen. I personally don't use this watch for tracking stuff like workouts or mountain climbing because I don't really do that stuff. I probably should work out, but I don't do any of Apple's advertised adventurous activities. But on that note, having the action button, which is that big orange button on the side of the watch, does make it easier to do those things without having to go and tap 3 different things to get there and start the workout. You just tap that action button and it's gonna start recording whatever you're doing, which is really nice. Another reason I bought this watch was because I wanted something rugged. I don't work in the most rugged environment, but I do work around a lot of metal. And so sometimes when I'm working, my wrist can bump up against things, thus scratching the screen or the case. And about 4 months into using this, and I don't have a single scratch on the screen, and I don't even have a screen protector on this. If that would have been my Series 7, the screen at this point was covered in scratches. As far as the case goes, titanium is definitely more scratch resistant, but it can still be scratched. I do have a couple of small scratches on the case and also a couple of very, very small nicks. But if you're looking at this thing, like if I'm looking at it just normally, or if anybody else is looking at this from any kind of distance whatsoever, you are not going to notice those scratches. The 3 choices of bands that you have whenever you order this watch is the Alpine Loop, the Trail Loop, which in my opinion is the best one to get for a regular guy like me, or I believe it's called the Ocean Band. Make sure you get the right band to start with. Maybe go to an Apple store and try one on, because if you want to buy one of those bands after the fact, it's going to cost you $100, probably over $110 after taxes. I ended up getting the orange Alpine Loop with mine, and while I did like that band, I had one big problem with it, and that was the position of the titanium clasp on the bottom. Whenever I would be resting my wrist on my computer, that clasp would sit on the computer and it just was cringe. So I got tired of being careful and I bought a different band. Now I could have went to Apple and got the Trail Loop for $100, but I decided to go to Amazon to settle for a cheaper alternative. And I really don't have any problems with this band other than the fact that the fit and finish isn't perfect like the Apple band would have been. You see, the lugs move ever so slightly if you move them, and I'm talking they barely move. Like, this is not a big deal at all. I can't imagine this actually damaging the watch, but it is there because I didn't go with the Apple official. And I'm sure not all aftermarket bands have this problem, but the one I did from Amazon, it was the cheapest I could find, and that's really the only problem that I have with this. Definitely worth the $8 or $9 I paid. So yeah, the Apple Watch Ultra is an amazing watch, and if you buy one, you're really not going to be disappointed. Honestly, the only problem that I have with this watch, sometimes when you're turning the crown on your wrist, I have a lot of arm hair, so sometimes it will pull that arm hair. It's not like it hurts, but it doesn't feel good. I'm going to end the video there. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more tech reviews and also a little bit of stuff about photography, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.